Good morning, everybody. My name is Montserrat Amezola Ruiz, and I am presenting my tesina title that is Task-Based Learning Approach to Promote Autonomy in English Language Learning by Audiovisual Online Material in A2 Teenage Learners. That's a case of a study, and the senior tesina director is the Dr. Jose Luis Carrillo Valdez. Well, I would like to start by saying that my research is grounded in its multifaceted significance within language education because it recognizes the paramount importance of nurturing autonomy because it is a vital skill of A2 teenage learners because it enables to the students to assume their ownership of their learning journeys. For example, to foster the independence and self-motivation, and also because it embraces a forward-thinking approach by simply um, like putting together a task-based and contemporary audiovisual online resources, and also going together with the modern educational paradigms and thereby augmenting the efficacy of language acquisition. Well, the main problem that I faced before I started this research it is the that um, question that the students had about how to put together the education with the internet and the audiovisual material that they want to use all the time because that was the main idea that I have when I started to teach English in that school. It was how to put how to present to the students that materials, but also cultivate the autonomy for them. And then it presents some challenges that is being very careful with the strategies that we use with that reason, and also to give them the opportunity to prove their autonomy. And then to talk about the research context that was in central Mexico, Puebla to be more specific, and with 14 to 15 years old participants with an A2 level of English. It was in a public secondary school, the afternoon shift, and in an urban area of Puebla. Well, I have three objectives. One is the main objective that is to promote autonomy by the use of task-based learning approach and audiovisual online materials in A2 teenage learners. As I already mentioned, it is um, to give the students that materials and to make them analyze them and also be able to use them for their educational purposes. But also I have two more general objectives. The first one is to complement the teaching and learning methods that are pointed out in English textbooks with the use of audiovisual materials. I mean, we as teachers, we have a curriculum that the government gives to us, but we have to improve that learning outcomes that we have. And how we can do it? With the use of audiovisual materials. And then we have the other general objective that is to adapt these resources according to the logistic facilities that are available in the school. Sometimes we are very ambitious with our goals or the things that we want to do with our students, and that's good. But sometimes we are not, um, we don't know what we can do in this context. So it's very important to make um, it very significant if we are able of what we have in that moment, and then add the materials that we have and look for the a way we can put them together and it could work. And it gives us two important research questions The first one is, how do secondary school students use audiovisual materials to learn English autonomously? How are they using these materials that are provided by us, and if they are being autonomous, sorry. And also, the second research question is, how can audiovisual materials motivate the students to learn English by themselves? It's very important to mention the motivation, because it's a very important concept that it goes along with the autonomy. Well, about the theoretical framework, I have four terms that guide my research, and the first one is task-based learning. Well, the task-based learning, it emphasizes on the real-world task, because it uses, for example, planning, interviews, presentations, and all that kind of materials that we use in real life, because task-based learning revolutionizes educations, because it doesn't use the traditional methods that are just focused on grammar or vocabulary. So it looks for the students to materialize the learning, and well, it looks for the tangible objectives, like empowering the learners. And also we have the ICT integration. What do I mean with this? The ICTs are all the tools that we can use that are digital, for example, computers, tablets, internet, software applications, and that are very, very helpful to us to make the learning very attractive for the students. And also it facilitates the remote learning. For example, now in pandemic, it is easier to us to communicate with our learners through the ICTs. But also the implementation demands our training as a teachers, and also so many challenges, but it works to the results that are given by the ICTs. And then we have the autonomy in educational purposes. Well, basically, it empowers to the learners to manage learning, make decisions, set their own goals, and give them the tools to make everything by themselves, and to get interest of something by themselves, with no necessity of a guide to say, like, you have to do this. No, they are able and they know what they have to do. And also we have the English language learning, that for me it is the one of the most important terms in this research, because it is the one that gives us the the characteristic of how do the learners learn, how do they acquire the language, and it is used to improve skills like listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and it is very important to know that. And well, the methodology that I used, it was quantitative research, and it is based on surveys, questionnaires, uh, experiments, content analysis, and well, it is equipped to analyze and to navigate change and acquire knowledge autonomously in our evolving world. And also it focuses on numerical terms, or enabling statistical analysis, or trends, and to analyze the trends objectively. And well, it as a result, I can say that this research was very important, and so it was kind of difficult to be or to interpret the results that the students give to us. So that's why I say that it was a little bit hard, because the students, they say that they had like 2 hours of access to internet, and they had that opportunity to get into the audiovisual materials, but they didn't take advantage of that. So they exhibit like not interest on that kind of materials, and also it take us to a thing that we need an effective presentation to motivate the students. And if we give channels that are not engaged to them, we won't have any result. And well, the suggestion that I have for the research is, if we are giving to them material to check at home, we have to look for the way that they check that material and be sure that they are checking and that the answers that they are giving to us, it is reliable, and that we have a big work to do by presenting the students in a better way. They are interested on the audiovisual materials, but they need more motivation to be into these materials, and that's why we should be researching more about this topic. Thank you very much for your attention. That's it.